The Middle Belt felt threatened over the emergence of new terror cells as the NIS raises alarm over the emergence of a new terror cell sighted in Kaduna State. According to the Middle Belt, that whenever the Arewas felt displeased with any government, how they protest is to set up new terror cells or new terror groups to make that government ungovernable, to destabilize the government, or possibly get the government out of place. So this is not new, as we can make reference to history. In 2011, when Buhari contested against Jonathan, we heard what happened. That after losing that election, Buhari made a declaration that if he does lose the election, that he will make the government of Jonathan ungovernable, and that happened. We saw the emergence of terror cells, unleashing mayhem. He also admitted that the baboons and monkeys will be soaked in their blood. What does that mean? What does that mean? It is not just a mere compliment, but this is a public assertion and admittance to the fact that whenever they felt displeased about a government in power, they do whatever they can to destabilize that government. And for the Middle Belts, they believe the only way forward to solve these nagging issues is to sponsor and advocate for regionalization. Let every region control their own resources, manage their own security, and that will bring a lasting end to these nagging issues. Not until Nigerians rises and put the Arewas, the Fulanis, in their place, this insecurity, this act of terrorism, and emergence of new terror cells will not cease. That is the argument and submission of the Middle Belt's position. Of course, in most recent, Middle Belts have made it very clear that they are not part of the Arewas, and they are the majority or within the northern region. They have more than 60% of the population of the north. So when the Arewas or the Fulanis are claiming that the north is most populated, they have the majority percentage of population in Nigeria, they are using the numerical strength of the Middle Belters to make such arguments. So the Middle Belt has come out to say we are not part of the Arewas and we can be addressed as the Arewas. We have our identity. We can't, the Arewas, the Fulanis can't swallow our identity. We have an identity, we have a culture, we have more than 200 ethnic nationalities within that region, the Middle Belt. So such ethnic nationalities, such values, culture, and heritage will not be swallowed by the Fulanis. They can't cover them up. Unfortunately, they are speaking lately, but then I hope that will make any difference, because over the decades, the Fulanis have used them to cash out, to gain popularity, dominance of the northern part of the country. So now waking up in the if of these realities, where they felt threatened. As it stands now, they felt threatened by the exclusive dominance of the Fulanis. When you count the prominent northern politicians who are making wave, who are controlling, who are part of decision making within the north, you will not see a Middle Belt, and you will not see a Kanuri, you will not see a typical Hausa person, of course, making the first 10 list. Is quite are very disturbing. Now, the NIS raises alarm over emergence of new sects called Achad in Kaduna. It is not new, but the unfortunate thing is that other regions of the country, Nigeria, have not waken up to the realities and make very decisive demands that the Nigerian government or state must be restructured, or the continued existence of the Nigerian state must be renegotiated. It is only the renegotiation of the continued existence of Nigeria will solve the problem. We put the Arewas or the Fulanis and the monsters they are creating in their place. Let them control their regions. If they decide to be creating new terror cells, if they think that is the way to go, well, that is good for them. The monster they are creating will definitely live with them. But let other regions, let Middle Belt handle their own issues. This is Southern Kaduna's handle. Of course, there's security issues and the rest of them. The Adamawa, Benue, Plateau, Taraba, Nasarawa, and the rest of them as well. The same thing should happen to the South. The South is, of course, the Southeastern or the Eastern region have already taken both steps. You see agitators demanding for the disintegration of Nigeria. Of course, regardless of whatever opinion an average Nigerian might hold concerning them, they have seen ahead of them that with the way Nigeria is moving, it does not foster any unity. It does not guarantee their safety. It does not guarantee their peace. It does not guarantee their protection of the preservation of their cultural heritage. And in the interest of pursuing their peace and well-being, they have decided to secede from the Nigerian state. That this argument bordering on insecurity, emergence of new terror cells cannot be the way to move Nigeria forward. So rather than being trapped in this uncertainty, endless confusions, they have to take their destiny in their hands and decide to move on with their lives. Of most recent, the Yorubas are crying out. The fact, if under Tinubu being the president and the extraction of the Yoruba, they could have some sense of security. But today, for the first time, they are feeling threatened. The region, Southwest, is threatened. The consciousness of this has gotten to the political elites. They are now understanding very clearly, despite the fact that Tinubu was the president, most of the Obas within the southwestern region has been killed. Even in less than 6 months of Tinubu's assumption of office, about 2 of them was killed within an interval of 2 weeks. And this recent move, influx of the ISWAP and other foreign-linked terror cells nabbed in Osun State and the rest of them, of course, poses a great threat to the security of the southwestern region. Now, they are making moves, but how far that could go is another issue entirely. Whether they could politicize the security and safety of the southwesterners is another issue, because sometimes you never can trust these average politicians, Nigerian politicians. They are looking beyond the security of the people, or perhaps vested interests. But then the reality is that the southwestern region, as every other region, is being threatened. So what is the way forward? And people are canvassing for this integration with the intent of solving or profiling a lasting solution to the nagging issues. The nagging issues bordering in the Nigerian continued existence, because we cannot be trapped in this mess. Nigeria have expended trillions and tens of trillions, and yet the issue of insecurity keep expanding. You now ask, who are behind this insecurity? An average poor northerner can't afford so sophisticated ammunitions that can wreak havocs. It means somewhere, somehow, someone is sponsoring them, someone is giving them the logistics, is giving them, of course, the morale, is sponsoring them heavily. And that's why it is very difficult for the Nigerian government or the security operatives to combat them, because they are more fortified, they are more sophisticated, they are more being encouraged. So there are certain incentives that is driving them, and whoever is doing that has a target, has a mission to accomplish. Hope the government of Ahmed Bola Tinubu should look beyond sentiments and do what is needful in the interest of humanity. Otherwise, everybody eventually might be trapped in this uncertainty. Of course, it is happening now that you hardly could travel around Nigeria today without nursing fear, apprehensions, and uncertainties in governing the entire sphere. What is the way forward? What is the way forward? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has defined the way forward. Mazi Simon Ekpa, Sunday Igbohu, in most recent time, has also made it very clear. So he can't be watching his own people killed brutally without the perpetrators of this heinous crime and nefarious activities going on are being brought to book. When there is a conspiracy of silence by the ruling class, then it means there is something that should bother us more, because it's a time bomb only waiting for time to explode, and nobody knows who will become the next victim, because the survivors of yesterday perhaps might become the victim of today. But we must act fast. Every region, every ethnic nationality must lend their voice, must speak out now before it is too late. Let's have your own submission or position regarding this development. New emergence of new terror cells. It means they are being motivated. Something is happening that we are not being that is not being disclosed, though we understood what is playing out, that it is a very strategic, sponsored and monitored, robust network projecting certain agendas. Some believe it is the Islamization of Nigeria, some believe it is a total exclusive dominance and conquest of the entire region of this country. Well, whatever happens, let's get to know what is your own reaction and the best way you think we could get out of this in the shortest possible time. With Tinubu be reconsidering, of course, his policies and pay more priority and attention to the nagging issues bordering on the security and safety of the people. Could he, at this time, change the narrative? Well, he might be focused in 2027 as an average Nigerian politician, but then what matters most is the safety of all and sundry. Well, let's get to know your own take regarding this. Thank you for watching.